We all inherit weaknesses from family and way, way back. Lena's mother was the most wonderful, bubbly person, but she had a nervous disposition, and even when Lena became famous, she found it very, very difficult to cope with. So I'm not saying that it was actually Lena's mother, but there's a possibility this is where it stems from, and it was activated with Lena's experiences. But I think at the school, that's when it really started. She started to look at herself and compare herself with some of the dancers who were very slim. And then she looked at herself, and I think that's where it really sort of activated itself.
That was the first click.
I think I was a student here when I read in the tabloids that Lena had put it down to being at stage school with other girls around her who were much slimmer than her, and I actually remember feeling offended that I almost felt blamed. It was a case of, Lena, why have you said that? Nobody ever mentioned weight at school. Nobody ever said anything. And I did feel insulted that she'd put it down to her school friends who, you know, had all been in together, and to say that it was a case of her sharing a class with thinner pupils, I found that quite offensive. I think that she was unhappy because she was asked to dance here and come and join this show and do this show. And she was controlling her food because she couldn't control anything else.
So many folks dissatisfied with everything.
She'd felt that she was at everybody's beck and call. You know, producer said, "Now you be at so-and-so at 10 o'clock, and she was there. You know, you do this show, and she was there. You know, you got to sing this song, I'll do it." And she always wanted to do the right thing for people, and I think a part of this process of acceleration, in the same way acted in reverse for her. It was kind of brought on this negativity. That the higher up she went, the more she personally was losing her esteem and her identity.
She said, I feel as if I've given away my soul.
Yes.
I don't have it anymore. I'm dead inside.
She did.
And all the strength they never need to help them has been wasted. Remains hidden in the confusion of going nowhere. And who am I to criticize this world that I have grown up in? Most of you would tell me that I'm crazy. Yes, I'm crazy, but I can't help it. I understand that where you are is where you've been so many years, and things that tend to change you tend to hurt you. Yes, they hurt you very deeply.
There was many an occasion when she didn't really want to be singing. She didn't want to be up there performing. She'd rather not. So she gave it her best, and you would never have known there was anything wrong. But inside she was
She lost herself
desperate,
somewhere.
desperate inside.
Turning on to going nowhere.
Lena herself never said, "Oh gosh, I can't do this." In fact, you know, she would say, "Do you think I could do a panto this year?" Or so it was never a cut and dried situation, ever.
So there was never a point when you thought that she should just stop and sort herself out?
It wouldn't have mattered what I thought. You know, if I, as a manager, get an offer through for an artist, I have to obviously pass it to them, and it's up to them to decide whether they want to do it or not. And Lena was always terribly enthusiastic about what she was doing. In fact, you know, I think in a way, show business kept her going for a long time.
Somebody promised me the sunshine. Somebody promised me the moon.
Eventually we moved down to London because of her illness. She was still doing a bit of television then. She was doing a television series as it happened. Her managers, everybody was worried about it. I ran her all over the place looking at different people, going to see psychiatrists, hypnotherapists, even acupuncture. Tried everything. Harley Street specialists. And it just did not seem to come together.
Well, when I came down to London when I was 14, she had changed. You know, I think that's when the anorexia had got a hold of her. And so the sister I was looking for, she wasn't there. Her illness overtook her life completely. I used to try and go into in-depth conversation with her and say, if there's anybody that's upset you or anything that's happened, you can tell me. I'm your sister.
This was not a happy time. Her mother was drinking heavily and her parents separated. Lena continued to get worse.
She played with food all the time. Food had to be there. She would go out and do a massive big shopping, and she would come in, and within maybe just 3 or 4 hours it's gone. Everything's gone. And you think to yourself, where did that go? You know, this wave-like little creature standing in front didn't eat all that, you know. But what she was actually doing, and what I didn't know, this had been going on for a couple of years, which I didn't know, was that she was putting food in her mouth and taking it out again. She was spitting it out again. And she'd done that day in, day out, day in. The only way that sometimes I could make her eat something was we'd have a lecture where I'd talk with her. And would say, Lena, stop thinking about yourself for a minute and think what you're doing to us. Do you see what we're hurting? That we want you to eat. We want you to live. Please, Lena, please, will you eat something before you let it go too far? And we'll leave there, and maybe in the next couple of days she would eat a little. And that was the only way that I could keep our way up, was to put the onus on us, which was real. It was real. We were suffering. We were suffering watching her.
Between 1982 and 84, Lena hardly worked at all. She went public about the anorexia, and it seemed at the age of 19, her career was over.
Lena could stop work for maybe a couple of years, and then she would say, oh, I'd love to be back. Do you think I could do such and such a thing? And or if an offer came in, I'd say, would you like to do this? And then it would start up again.
In 1985, Lena made a comeback in the summer season in Blackpool. She even appeared on television claiming to be cured.
So you're back looking very glamorous. And
Do you think so?
Yeah, I think so.
Thank you.
I'm picking up where you left off.
Well, hopefully. Hopefully.
But with the
know,
kind of suffering that you've endured in the last 3 years, did that not sort of put you off for good?
Well, I never really, to be truthful, I never thought I would come back. I really had terrible doubts.
Yes,
But,
sure.
until you get over a thing like that, because it's a very, I mean, it's part of your life at that time. Until you get over it, that's when you start looking to things that you want out of life. And I decided that the thing that's going to get me back, hopefully, to full standard again is singing.
Yeah. You were very young when you got into the business.
But only a year later, her anorexia forced her to stop work again.